How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about the top 10 cryptos to buy now. And some of these have huge events coming up in the next few days. Literally, one is tomorrow, one is Thursday. One, I'm giving away some tokens and giving you free money. We're going to go through the top 10, what I see in the market right now. If you guys don't mind, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and the subscribe button. I think a lot of people have forgotten about some of these cryptos because they had news a couple months ago. They put out dates in the future and they're easy to pass by without really paying attention. But I think these will do well over the coming months. So hitting the like and subscribe tells me that you guys like these kinds of videos. These top 10 videos do take a little bit more than when I'm just looking at one crypto covering the news. So I like it when you guys let me know that you actually like the videos. Now, I do want to take 30 seconds to tell you about something that I think is really cool. Now, I wanted to take a second to tell you about a really cool app that can bring all your investments into one place to make it easier to track. And it's called AssetDash. There's a link to it underneath the video. They support cryptos, NFTs, stocks, DeFi, and more. And they include all the major blockchains and brokers and exchanges. So you can view your floor prices of Sol or ETH NFTs in real time. And you can even get notifications about your investments. So there is a link underneath the video. Within the next 72 hours, if you sign up using that link, you are entered to win an NFT. So thank you, AssetDash, for sponsoring this video. Now we can see the whole crypto market is down just a little bit today, about 2.3%. Not anything major. We keep on hitting about 42.5 for Bitcoin. And before we get into Bitcoin, let's talk about a very small cap, very high risk, high reward, in my opinion, because it is just launching here today. Now, I will say, I am affiliated with Nosana. I have some of their tokens. I work with the team. So if you guys want, I am doing a giveaway. I'll link this underneath the video, right underneath AssetDash, and you can get a free $100 of Nosana tokens. So one person didn't claim their tokens, so I will include this underneath the video. Just tag a friend, retweet, follow myself, and then follow the team. And like I said, they are live. So I do hold the position, just want to make that completely clear. But if you haven't heard about them, they are a new crowd computing crypto. They're launching on Gate.io, Radium, and MEXC Global. So they are still a very small market cap because they're just launching today, but pretty exciting. And I wanted to turn you onto this crypto right away. So let's get into some of the bigger caps. So breaking, Fed Chairman Powell ready to release Bitcoin and crypto report. So you have to be ready because over the coming weeks, we have three major catalysts I see for crypto. And it could be over the coming months. But first of all, he said that they would release this over the next few weeks, most likely. So possibly a huge catalyst for crypto, specifically Bitcoin, but some of these other cryptos, depending on what they say about them, if they're going to be a little bit more clear with their regulation. And then we also have Tonga, which is accepting Bitcoin donations among tsunami onslaught. So we know that other countries are looking at making Bitcoin legal tender, Tonga being one of them, and they just came out with this news here today. So if we have that being the next domino, that could definitely push up Bitcoin. Now, this is a small country, but still, we have other cities that are even putting their treasury in Bitcoin, which I covered recently. So all these are just little dominoes. If another country accepts it as legal tender, I think the act of that actually happening will be bigger than the effect that it actually has on crypto's price. It's not like they're going to be buying a ton of Bitcoin or anything like that, but it's just another domino and people will see that and be excited. And then last thing, Bitcoin is coming to hundreds of US banks this year. This is coming from NYDIG, and we've seen all the different news pieces on this, whether it's US banks or European or Australian. There are banks all over the world that are going to start allowing their clients to get in on crypto, and think about how easy that will be when someone can just go and maybe they get $10,000 from something, and some pretty wealthy person, and then they just move a couple $1,000s into Bitcoin or something like that because they don't really need the money anyways. So they speculate a little bit. People that maybe wouldn't buy Bitcoin anyways because they don't have any way to buy it, they're going to be buying Bitcoin just in their bank accounts, which I think will be huge. So we have Nosana, Bitcoin. Let's get into the next one. So Ethereum is at really low levels. I mean, look at this. We have not seen this amount of Ethereum on exchanges multiple years. I mean, if you go back to 2019, we still didn't have this amount of Ethereum on exchanges. It's low. Keeps on falling. We're about to pass the 17 million mark. We might have already passed it because this is 2 days delayed. But between the Ethereum on exchanges falling down between EIP 1559, which is burning over the last 7 days over 100% of Ethereum, and then also with Ethereum staking continuing to go up, I think we're bound to see a movement in Ethereum if the whole market starts moving. And even if it doesn't, we do have Ethereum 2.0 coming this year. So this will make it actually deflationary. This will make it about 2% deflationary a year, depending on how much it's used and stuff like that. But hopefully that will help some of the issues that we have with Ethereum. I mean, right now people pay extremely high fees on Ethereum right now compared to other chains. So it's just a trade-off. I know some people hate Ethereum, some people love it, but it's a trade-off, right? You get more decentralization, you get more security, but it does lack the ability to have high volume transactions right now because it is so expensive. Now that does help in a way too because of the fact that we don't have as many attacks on it, or it doesn't go down as often, because it would be really stupid, because it would cost an insane amount of money to send a lot of transactions to try to clog the network. And then Sunday Swap. So not Sunday Swap itself, but I'm looking at Cardano. You could also look at Sunday Swap, but Cardano has been on a tear over the last 7 days. It's up 34%, more than anything here in the top 10, even probably in the top 20. And that's because they're going to have a DEX. So this is coming out just this week. We have on January 20, Sunday Swap launching their fully functional beta decentralized exchange. So they are going to actually have total value locked on Cardano now. I mean, Cardano, a lot of people have called it a ghost chain. We didn't even have smart contracts until September, but now we can actually get some total value locked, and a lot of it's already staked. So it's 70% or so of Cardano is staked, but even more will be locked up right now with some of these liquidity pools, and then that can actually cause DeFi to grow and can cause people to actually use Cardano. So that will be exciting. That's definitely what's pushing up the price of Cardano right now, but we might have a little bit of a dip when it actually happens, right? If Sunday Swap doesn't, if the launch doesn't go well or smoothly, it could definitely hurt. But then also, even if it goes smoothly, sometimes we see a little bit of a sell when when the event actually happens. So that's something that you can pay attention to. But we have moved up a lot, like I said, over the last week. I mean, I was buying Cardano for $1.08 within the last week, and now it's up at $1.50. Then Terra. So Terra is a crypto that I recently started buying. I bought a small amount, but what I'm really interested in is UST. So this is their stablecoin on Luna, and I've talked about it several times on the channel, but I just can't get over how good this is. And I'm still learning more about how sustainable this is, but they have stayed around 18 to 20%. And if you use Anchor Protocol, app.anchorprotocol.com, you can put your UST on here and get this percentage, about 19.5%. And unlike a lot of other reward systems or a lot of other apps, it actually pays in stablecoin. So it's not giving you their own token that fluctuates in price a lot. Now they do have their own token, Anchor token, but they pay you in UST on here. So that's awesome because it doesn't fluctuate in price at all. It's just pegged to the US dollar. So a steady 20% is an awesome return. So, I mean, I have $61,000 as you can see in here, and I'm getting about $1,000 a month, which is fantastic. I just love that. And I'm going to keep on putting more in here because that's a really easy way compared to a lot of other options to get some steady income, in my opinion. Now, there is risk with that. I mean, whenever you see a higher interest rate, you have to realize that there is some kind of higher risk, or there's something that they're doing different than some of these centralized exchanges. So you have to do your research on it. I've watched a handful of videos, I've read about it, and I feel comfortable with the risks. And maybe I'll make a full video on it here soon, what exactly they do. But they do have borrowers, they do have people that are borrowing your UST, and then they also reward those borrowers with their own tokens. So they're able to actually get a really low rate, and then they also give you some of the rewards too if you put money in there by giving you that 20%. Now, like I said, maybe I'll go a little bit more into depth on that here soon to make it a little bit more clear, but let me know if you're interested in that down below. Then we have Anchor taking up the majority of the total value locked over on Terra. I mean, you can go to DeFi Llama, that's what this is, and you can see that a lot of people are using it now, especially towards the end of the year. I mean, we were around $9 or $10 billion locked as of December, early December. Now it's about doubled. So a lot of people are using Anchor right now. And I think some people, when the market turns down, they want stablecoin yields. They want to hold some money on the sidelines, and that's what I'm doing, right? I'm holding this on the sidelines. If we see more of a dip in the market, maybe I'll tap into that and put it back in the market a little bit. And then also the next crypto is Polygon. So Polygon has EIP 1559, just like Ethereum. It has the same name, EIP 1559, and it's being activated on the mainnet January 18th. Now, that is tomorrow. From the time of this recording, it's not too long away. I think it's about 16 hours from the time that I'm recording this. So they are going to launch. Now, this is not going to be super deflationary. It's not going to be as significant as what happened with Ethereum, but it is going to burn about 0.2%, I believe, of the overall Matic each year. And that's just one more good thing that's happening with Polygon. But they do have other things that make me really bullish on them. For example, they acquired a ZK rollup startup, Mir Protocol, for $400 million. So they're investing in their technology, and they are just outperforming in terms of the transaction fees. When you look at Ethereum, $46 for the average transaction fee. Bitcoin, $1.59. This isn't on the Lightning Network though, don't believe. Then also you can go down the line, Dogecoin 22 cents, but Polygon is around 0.04 cents. I mean, that's the kind of transaction that you can use for gaming. That's the kind of transaction that apps are literally willing to pick up just to have you on there for them. Like I've talked about unstoppable domains a lot on the channel. There's actually a link to them underneath the video too if you want to check that out. I'll put that under the other links I've talked about. But you can actually go on there, and they picked up all the costs of claiming domains because it's so cheap. It's not even worth them making you do it. So that is super cheap. And then Avalanche, even cheaper than that. It's 100 times cheaper, something like that, than Polygon. So it's insanely cheap on some of these other chains like Polygon. So I think that's just one more thing that's bullish about Polygon. As time goes on and more people use crypto, Polygon will continue to move up because of the fact that people realize, okay, I don't want to pay a $46 fee. I don't even want to pay a $2 fee. I want to pay pretty much nothing. And then you go with Polygon, or some of these other apps are just going to build on it because it's so cheap, and they can include that in what they're offering, so you don't even have to worry about some of those fees. And then the next one, Phantom. I just did a video on it just a few days ago talking about a new crypto that I was buying, and it's Phantom. So right now they have about $7.9 billion or $7.8 billion locked in total value locked, and it's a very quick layer one. So Phantom is able to do about 10,000 transactions per second, but when you compare it to some of these other top cryptocurrencies, I believe it's 5th overall in total value locked. The market cap compared to the total value locked is almost exactly 1. If you compare that to something like Ethereum, Ethereum has about a $390 billion market cap. And when you look at the total value locked, it is much smaller than their market cap. It's about 1/3 or so. So some of these other cryptocurrencies are the same thing. For example, Binance is around a $14 billion locked, and they have about $70 or $80 billion worth of market cap. Now, not everything is about the total value locked. Like, there are a ton of other things that go into the pricing of a cryptocurrency besides that, but that is a big part of it. So that's something to pay attention to with Phantom. I know a lot of people are excited about Phantom specifically because they think it's undervalued. So that is the next one to take a look at, is Phantom, because I think it's kind of coiled up. Now, it has gone up a lot over the last 6 months, or over the last month. If we look compared to a lot of the other cryptocurrencies, it's actually done really well. Over the last 30 days, it's up 105%. But you have to realize that their total value locked has also gone up a lot. So moving back over to Phantom, over the last month, we've gone from about $5 or $6 billion locked to $8 billion. So it has increased a lot, kind of keeping on par with the market cap. So the next cryptocurrency is Phantasma, or Sol Token. I've talked about this several times on the channel, but they are a layer one that makes smart NFTs. And with the coming gaming boom in crypto, I think this one will do really well. And I don't think it's as risky as a lot of the games that are in crypto, just because of the fact that they have so many games underneath them that if just a couple do well or just one does well, Phantasma should do well. Now they're at $2.85, which isn't that far below their top price. I mean, recently they're around $3.82. They've fallen back down a little bit, but when you compare what they've done to the overall market over the last couple months, they've pretty much stayed sideways since late November. So they've held up pretty well. Of course, there is a little bit of more risk because they are a small market cap, People will probably sell some of these small market caps faster, but the fact is it's in gaming, which a lot of people think will do well, so maybe it evens out. But I think if we fall back into that $2.60 range that we saw recently, $2.65, we saw some support there. I think it's definitely a pickup, but it is pretty close now anyways. I haven't bought in a little while, but I did buy back over here when it was around, I want to say 230 or so, maybe 250, 260, and I did pick up some before that massive run up. So I do think it is one that will do well over the coming months, especially if all of crypto does well. This will definitely do well in my opinion. And then the last one on the list, Voyager token, so VGX. Now, I think a lot of people forget about this or they just don't care about it too much. It's out of the top 100, but the company itself is growing really quickly. We just got numbers from them that they had over 1 million funded accounts, and they recently secured final approval to begin operations in Europe. And the VGX token is their loyalty token. So if the company grows quickly, the VGX token should do well because there's only so much supply of it. So this is going to start in March 2022. And one other thing to pay attention to also is the fact that they did get a pretty large investment from Alameda Research. So $75 million strategic investment came recently, which Alameda Research is run by Sam Bankman-Fried. Great investor in the crypto space. So that shows you, hey, this is a company that's here to stay. They have a ton of users. They're growing really quickly. They're expanding to Europe. The token only has enough so that last time I ran the numbers, every person can have about 300 or 400 of the tokens, which isn't even allowing them to get into the bottom tier of their loyalty program. So there's going to be a supply drainage. It's just a question of when. I think that's going to happen probably when the market starts going up, because if you can get an extra 0.5% or an extra percent, if Bitcoin's at 90,000 versus 40,000, it's definitely much more advantageous to be buying some VGX tokens when you can get Bitcoin that's worth about twice as much. At least it makes sense for a lot of people. A lot of people don't think in terms of, I'm getting the same amount of Bitcoin, whether it's at 40 or 90. They think about how much is this dollar worth in Bitcoin that I'm going to be getting from the extra interest. Now, I think a lot of these will do well, but there's no way of knowing what's going to happen in the market. Of course, chances are, I covered 9 or 10 different cryptos. 1 or 2 will probably do really poorly. 1 or 2 will probably do really, really well. And then the rest will just kind of go with the market. So do your own research. Definitely have some money on the sidelines, in my opinion. I think that's just prudent. I think that's smart. I think that you can get a great return over on something like Anchor or even like BlockFi or something like that. And check out the link underneath the video to AssetDash. I really appreciate that. I think that's a great app to start using. And go check out the Nosana giveaway. I'm trying to give away some free tokens, so definitely check that out underneath the video. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.